Alam mo ba kaming mga magulang, binabantayan namin ng developmental milestones ng aming mga anak. Kailan sila unang natutong gumapang, naglakad, tumakbo. Kahit ang unang pagngiti at pagtawa. Unang salita, lumabas sa kanilang mga bibig, yan very precious yan Iba ang saya na idudulot ito sa aming mga parents.
Tama ka dyan. Ako naman as tita kasi hindi pa naman ako mommy. So as tita, yun talaga yung binabantayan din talaga. Pero paano kung may delay ang isang bata sa kanyang pagsasalita? Dapat na bang mangamba ang mga magulang tulad ni Sir Jojo at ni Miss Ana? Ano bang edad na dapat nakakapagsalita ang isang bata?
At para bigyan tayo ng mahalagang impormasyon patukoy sa developmental milestones ng bata, makakasama natin ngayong umaga si Teacher Kaye, isang certified speech language pathologist. Yan,
Good morning,
Teacher Kaye, and welcome to Kada Umaga.
Good morning. Thank you for having me here.
Ayan, buti na, unang tanong ko tama ba yung sa akin? Kasi ako isip bata, wala ako agad
Sobrang perfect po.
Perfect.
Lumagpas ka po sa
Parang sumobra nato. Parang mali pa, no? Pero Teacher Kaye, ano po ba ang yung speech delay na kadalasan nararanasan ng mga bata?
Okay, so I'll take it from, nabanggit nyo na po kasi yung developmental milestones.
Yes,
So you want to know kung kailan natin maituturing na speech delay ito. So when we look, katulad nung nabanggit yung milestones, like meron tayong milestones sa gross motor skills, like paggapang, hello, and pretend play. So play also, when we include that in what we look at how our children plays, kasama yan sa mga milestones. So it's not already about talking. There's social milestones as well. So even when una kang tingnan ng baby mo, unang matagal na parang they gaze at you lovingly, kasama yan sa communication milestones ng kids. Some of the easiest things to remember is around 3 months old pa lang, dapat nagpo-produce na sila ng sounds. Any vowel sounds, and this is what we know as cooing, right? So nung parang mga,
I see.
They do it in pleasure, or they do it kapag nagagalit sila. Minsan, so these sounds are important because they will build on the next stage. At 6 months, titingnan natin kung nagbababble na yung mga bata. Babbling naman, it's not just vowels anymore. Meron na siyang consonants. So ito na nung nadadagdagan na siya ng baba, maga, agugugaga. Yan. So that's called babbling already.
Okay.
So by 1 year old, dapat usually meron na pong first word yung mga baby natin. And maraming natatakot dito sa by 1 year old dapat. Sa salitang dapat. But it's not about parang scaring you into what developmental milestones are. It's saying that ito ang normal patterns of development ng karamihan ng bata sa buong mundo. So it's just saying ito yung average. So that's why developmental milestones happen at a range of ages. Hindi lang siya pagkatungtong niya ng 1 year old, sa first birthday niya, dapat na siya.
Dapat pala yung Teacher Kaye, dapat medyo aware ka of the interaction of your child with you and the surroundings of the other children, with other kids. Kasi narinig ko lang na laging nagsasalita yung mga magulang. Umiiyak na naman! Yung gatas niya, yun ang narinig ko. Hindi masyadong di ba?
And yes, sir, it affects po kung ano yung nagiging first words din ng bata. What they are exposed to.
That's true. That's true.
So maraming talaga.
And especially, what is emotional na naririnig ng mga bata. So a lot of Filipinos, maririnig ko na ang mga first words nila yung mga hala. Kasi yun ang laging sinasabi kapag kunyari nakatabig yung bata.
Teacher and nurture. Parang ganun, kailangan
ang tawag dyan, I think, ito, tama to, tabula rasa. Everything that you put that in a very young age, it sticks to them. Sila yung dire-diretso, yun ang naaalala nila kasi very receptive yung mind, di ba?
They absorb everything.
They absorb everything.
Kaya
and then it
careful
stays there.
sa mga sinasabi.
Kaya nga.
Ayun,
Ay, naku,
Teacher
ito na
Kaye,
naman.
ano po ba ang mga senyales na makikita sa mga bata na may mga ganitong kondisyon?
Okay, so because we were talking about the developmental milestones, kung nakita na po natin na hindi sila nag-display ng certain skills expected at certain age ranges, kailangan na po nating tanggapin na meron na po silang communication delay. And when I say communication, because it's not just na hindi na sila nakapagsalita, but it includes hindi man sila nagge-gesture to say na gusto nilang magpakarga. And that's what we have our first 16 gestures in the first 16 months. So we also look at those things. So when you miss a milestone, like hindi nga nakapag first word around the time of their first birthday, or when they're not trying to combine words together by 2 years old, which is kunyari, with what I call Tarzan phase, where they speak in like kain mama or sakit ako, mga ganyan. So around 2 years old yan nangyayari. So when we miss those milestones, that already is a sign for us na kailangan po nung bata ng tulong. Hindi niya naiintindihan how to communicate naturally. And it's a predisposition.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's the fault of the parents.
Yes.
It's like some children can learn just by watching people talk. And they'll absorb
On that note, Teacher Kaye, ito, kasi marami ako na-encounter na ganyan. This is on a personal note. No? At what age does it become medyo alarming na? No? Na, there has to be something that needs to be done, or at least yung mga precautionary measures that you have to take pag medyo nakikita mo ng, ilang buwan na to, hindi ganito. Ano yung talagang month or years na dapat talagang i-address agad?
Okay, there's no formula because every child is different. But when we look at the milestones, and sobrang lumagpas na ng 6 months na hinihintay mo yung first word, let's say, di ba nga, first word at 1 year old, let's say.
Months, so.
And then so, parang 1.5 years old na, iba na ang milestones ng 1.5 years old eh. So, kung hindi mo pa agapan then, rarami ng hahabulin mo. So, you have to look at, okay, I need to look at the next milestone kasi kung nandito pa siya, tapos nandito na nung age range niya, malaki na yung kailangan niyang i-demonstrate.
Malayo na. So, yun na yung alarming part for the parents. Ito naman, Teacher Kaye, may tanong tayo from our Kada na nag-comment sa Facebook. Ang tanong niya, bakit po yung anak daw niya 2 years old na pero hindi pa rin siya nakakapagsalita ng maayos compared sa mga batang kaedad niya? Kailangan daw pang maging concern sa bagay na ito, tulad po nung sabi niyo kung 1 year and 6 months, dapat yun yung alarming part. Ito naman, 2 years old na, wala pa rin.
Okay, so napaka-vague po kasi nung hindi makasalita ng maayos. So, is it kulang yung nasasabi niyang words, hindi rin yun makasalita ng maayos? Or is it the quality ng pagkasabi nila, pagkabigkas? So, at 2 years old, quality ng clarity ng pagkabigkas, medyo na-excuse pa natin. Actually, until 3 years old, there's like a 25% chance of the amount of things they're saying na medyo bulol pa, as we would say. But that's 25% errors at 3 years old. So mas lalo na kung 2 years old, excuse mo pa talaga na instead of saying, let's say, gusto ko ng gatas, ang masasabi lang niya ay, uto gata. But you know what they're trying to say. You can deduce from their approximation of the word or kung paano na sinusubukan na may meaning yung utogata sa kanya, even if it's not that clear. And that's more important. How meaningful does your child use those words?
At least na-express pa rin niya kung ano ba yung gusto niyang sabihin. Diba?
I think mas delikado yata if you're about in your 20s, malabo ka pang kausap eh. No?
Yes po.
Iba na po yun.
Pero Teacher Kaye, as a mom, first-time mom din po kasi ako, what can you advise? Kasi there are parents din talaga na medyo pa sila in denial, na kunwari yun nga, delayed yung mga kids na. What can you advise to them na para masabi na kailangan talaga ng help, kailangan na pa-check yung kid or what?
Actually made an infograph about this, showing na, di ba nabanggit ko na may mga hinahabol kasi tayo, kung palakihin natin ang palakihin. And there's this common Filipino thinking na, hintayin nyo, magsasalita din yan. But then, that doesn't happen for everyone.
Yes, right.
Sure, yung ibang kids, eventually magsasalita. Baka nahirapan lang talaga sila, their environment isn't that talkative, let's say. But then there are children na meron pala talaga silang problema. Hindi nila maintindihan how to use words. And hindi mo naagapan because naghintay ka. So my number 1 advice is, don't wait and see. If you entrust your parental instinct, because you know your children the most, the best, if napapansin mo and may suspicion ka na something's not right, ask help na from a professional. So that's either your pedia, mention na, Doc, hindi pa po nagsasalita yung anak ko, or wala pa siyang sounds, and 1 year old na siya, so kahit yung cooing or babbling, wala pa by 1, that's a concern. go straight to a speech-language pathologist because we have our own assessments for communication.
That's right.
Teacher Kaye, let's talk about this natural causes kung bakit hindi nakakapagsalita yung bata. What are these natural causes?
So many. It could be, damage to the brain. Let's say, kung pinanganak siya, tapos may problems pala with the pregnancy and the delivery. Kung nagka-hypoxia or nakinulang ng oxygen siya sa brain.
Right.
So, syempre, it will affect brain function. Overall, the integrity ng brain natin. And the brain manages everything. So, if there's a problem with the brain, meron po talaga tayong makikitang mga signs na baka may kahirapan din sila with communication. Other conditions, of course, we've heard of conditions like autism and ADHD because they have different sensory needs until we address yung needs ng bata para makapay attention sila, para matuto sila. Kailangan muna nating tugunan yung mga condition na yun to help them communicate later on. But the trend that we're seeing in the pandemic, all the more, even before the pandemic, pero grabe talaga nitong pandemic, is screen time talaga.
That's true.
So, I keep hearing parents say, no, it's how you use screen time. You just need to guide them. But no,
Yes,
children 0 to 2 years old should have zero screen time. Where should I look for this? Zero screen time
That's right.
for babies from 0 to 2 years old because their brains hindi pa nila kayang i-process kung anong
I-absorb,
napapanood nila. So, to them, it's just so much color, so much sounds. I'm
right.
so stimulated.
Overstimulated.
Overwhelmed. And then, to them, it becomes this enjoyable, very fast, because there's no delayed gratification in screen time.
That's true.
Every 2 seconds, the image changes. So for them, it's like, oh, what's next? What's next? And they enjoy that so much that there's even a study that shows it releases dopamine in their brains, which makes them crave, I have to have more. Because I'm enjoying so much.
That's right.
So that's likened to, and this is controversial, but it's likened to addiction. So it is sometimes called screen addiction. And some common signs of this are, pagising pa lang ng baby, cellphone agad.
Looking for the cell phone and everything like that.
Increased behaviors of tantrums. And there's our communication delay. Nahihirapan how to use words because nung pinapanood nila, doesn't teach them how to use words.
Exactly.
It's not interaction, but communication is learned through interaction.
That's right, interaction. That's correct. Teacher Kaye, para sa mga magulang naman na wala namang access sa ganyan magpa-therapy, meron ba tayong mga tips and techniques para subukan nila para more or less, that would help the children be more interactive as far as speech is concerned.
So many things, but number one is kausapin nyo ng kausapin at kalaruin. So, for kids below 4 years old, please wag nyo pong ipilit na what's this? Flashcards, and all these educational materials, they need to play. And
Tama.
yeah, label everything that's happening. So for example, right now, you're twitching your foot. Twitching. Foot. Your foot is moving. You're nodding your head.
Yes, I'm nodding my head.
You're labeling everything that the child is doing para
Eating my
nagigets niya. Oh, at the moment, ito yung sinasabi niya. That must be the word
That's true,
for
that's true.
it. And then, yeah, that's why I made my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Because in the pandemic, nawalan ako ng, like our clinics closed down and stuff. Sinabi ko, but I'm starting to feel like useless. So I wanted to share some tips na parents could do at home who also couldn't get the services during
That's
the
right.
pandemic. So yeah, if you can go to
Invite
Teacher Kaye
our
Talks.
Kada, Teacher Kaye.
So Teacher Kaye Talks on YouTube, you'll find parang over 70 na po yung episodes ko doon, shinare ko about different ways you can try to teach your kids. It is not equal to therapy po. It is coaching you parents, empowering you parents para may mga magagawa rin kayo sa bahay. And yeah, no screen time.
I think that says it all, yung sinabi mo, na that's the best thing to do. At the onset, kailangan kausapin nyo, mga magulang, inyong mga anak, and that would also show you're giving time, effort, and love at the same time. Importante yun, yung sinabi ni Teacher Kaye, kailangan talaga, hindi lang not because merong interaction, or but
Yes.
because there's love involved in it,
Yes.
no?
It starts with us talaga.
Yes.
It starts with the parents, the environment na meron yung ating mga kids, mga chikiting. And thank you very much, Teacher
you,
Kaye.
Teacher
Ang dami
Kaye.
naming natutunan.
Yeah.
Oo.
Mga kada, support nyo ang kanyang YouTube channel. For sure, marami kayong matututunan doon. Sabi nga ni Jojo kanina, kung ngayon, medyo hirap na hirap tayo dahil nga masyado pang mataas ang mga bilihin, dun muna tayo. Malay nyo, yun pala ang magiging sagot nyo. Si Teacher Kaye pala ang
That's
sagot sa
right.
inyong
Oo,
problema,
oo.
di ba? Thank you very much, Teacher Kaye. Ang dami naming natutunan. Napaka-informative nitong itanong natin. At ngayon naman, anong meron dyan, Pia, Mau, and Wedge?
Yay!
Ganda na natalakayan nyo dyan, Thank you
Ang
very
ganda ni
much.
teacher.
Oo, si
Hindi na ko
ma'am.
pa tinititigan.
Yeah.
Very pretty si ma'am. Ganda-ganda. Oy,